Alright, this is a certain part of graphing linear equations. Seems that there's a little bit of explanation needed for here. So I want to graph this line, y is equal to 5x plus 1. And what I do, this is how I always generally describe graphing at the beginning. And what it is that you're going to create a table. And in this table, you're going to have three columns. The first column is going to be reserved for your x values. This middle column here is for your y values, and where that comes is whatever you're graphing, ideally you have it solved for y, and then you're going to put that as your second column as a heading. Y is equal to 5x plus 1 in this case. And as the last column, we're going to have these ordered pairs right here that we're going to be plotting. So those are the three columns right there. The x value, you can let anything be x. You're free to choose whatever. Thing is, the y value will have to follow the rule, which is the equation that you're graphing. Okay. Generally, you will see in a lot of different places the old standard of -1, 0, and +1. But again, you're free to choose these values. Could be whatever. If you have a fractional equation, you might want to choose in a different way. But onto the show. So here, let's take our first x value, which is x is equal to -1. What we'll do is that we're going to take this -1 and substitute into our equation to find our y value. So what that looks like, we'll have y is equal to 5 times, and notice that I'm replacing x with the -1, and it's also within parentheses. And we're to add 1. So now here, what this turns into is pretty much an order of operations type of problem, in that you're trying to find out what 5 times -1 plus 1 is. Obviously, you have to multiply first. You'll get -5 plus 1, and what that is a -4. Okay, so now we have our first ordered pair. Our ordered pair being two numbers, first number always being the x, second number being the y, which represent a possible solution to the equation we're graphing. So here our ordered pair would be -1, -4. That's our first ordered pair. We're looking for 3. We only need 2 to graph a line, but we use a third ordered pair in order to check to make sure that the work that we're doing is solid. So up next, we have x being 0. So what I will do is substitute 0 in here. So we'll have y is equal to 5 times 0 plus 1. And let me move right back. Okay, so that's what happens when we have this x being 0. We're going to substitute it into our equation up here, and what we'll have when we substitute, we'll have y is equal to 5 times 0 plus 1. 5 times 0 being 0. Add 1 to it, 0 plus 1. We get a y value of 1. So we have our next ordered pair, which is x will be 0. Again, the first column is where we find our x value, so x will be 0, comma, what is our y value? Well, that's what all this work was, and we found at the end of the day that our y value is 1. That's the y value associated with the x value of 0. This enough is these two ordered pair are enough to graph the line, but we're going to go a little bit further just to make sure that we have done our work correctly. And what we'll do is go back to this x column and look for our last x value, which was 1, and we'll substitute that x value into our equation and figure out what our related y value is. So let's get to work. we'll have y is equal to 5 times 1 plus 1. Alright? And 5 times 1 will be 5 plus 1, and 5 plus 1 will give us good old number 6. That's a 6. Okay? So, we put our work together. We know that x value found in this first column is 1. Our y value, we do the work, and we've determined that the y value associated with the x value of 1 is indeed this number 6 right here. So our ordered pair, 1, comma, 6. So that information is good enough to plot our line. What does plotting our line look like? Glad you asked. What we have here. Ooh. Well, yeah. How will I do this? That's some other video. I've got to put some pizza in the oven. See you later.